there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Eras mod. Last time around we managed to incorporate Saxony into the greater German Empire. Today I'm hoping that I might be able to take over the Hessen-Kassel region. But before we go ahead and figure out the strategy around that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about... nothing happened actually in between, but I want to show a little bit about the other stuff that's going on. So actually maybe we should talk about the Hessen-Kassel region right away. So Hessen-Kassel is currently at war with the Italians, me, the French and the Dutch. Now my spy, or I've spotted in this area around here, there's a French army, I'm pretty sure. Like there's a French army somewhere around this region. So I'm kind of thinking, and also there's actually some troops here, last I saw. So my plan is actually that I will, because attacking the city seemingly didn't work, so we're not going to be able to fight them in a siege battle there. So my plan is actually to move out and then set up an ambush position here in the light woods. I was a little bit worried there when he kept standing upright and he didn't go into this sneak position. So my plan is actually, as you can see, there's a force here. I was hoping that as I moved closer I would actually see the French force, but I can't. But I'm hoping here that either we have two scenarios for the Hessian army. Either we're gonna go north and fight this army, which means they come out and you know, they'll fight them and they'll probably stick there. They won't have any more movement points after that, so they can, even if they attack this, I have movement points enough that I can re-attack here. So either way you play it, I'll be able to take them out. But what I'm hoping for is that these guys will move along the road and I will be able to ambush them, so we actually get an ambush battle. Now I could have been setting my troops here, but there's a big chance that I'll miss their army if they're going this way. And I mean, I could then attack an outer assault and get it, but I do want to fight them. I like, since we don't have that many provinces that's in our goal right now, it's 1, 2, 3, and then we're done, basically. So I want to make it like, if they slip out and go either way, and I just go in and outer assault, I feel like there's no effort in that. So I want to be a little bit sneaky. Now I could have set them to ambush up here, to ambush them as they were moving towards this, but if they move in south, then I completely miss them. In this case, I will, if they go either way, I will be able to cap them, right? So that's the plan. Also, one thing that I thought about, since we talked about last time about protecting my trade, I should actually go ahead and protect my trade. And I did notice that my fleet, I only have three ships right now, but it can travel really fast, and I should go ahead and hurry to protect my trade fleet, because as we realized, the best I could do was increase my tax revenue with about 4,000, and I make like 22 through trade. So there's no way I'll be able to. Oh, the popularity is falling apparently. Well, I guess actually because the newly conquered territory. Right. So that's the plan, anyways. And also, if you're wondering what this force is, I realized the time we fought with the Dutch, or when the Dutch decided to backstab us from nowhere, attack us from nowhere, a large part of that I think was because I didn't have any troops in the border, on the border provinces. So I am starting to build a little bit of forces. We've got Some going out to Königsberg, and then we're gonna have in Mecklenburg, Oldenburg, and Cleves. But probably extend that further to other territories as well. And then of course this one's gonna go through the gap right here. Right, so there's only 3 provinces left to be captured. However, as I said earlier, it's not just capturing this, it also needs to be part of the victory goal then that I set from the first video, was also that we need the major wars. So against Denmark, against the Austrians, against the French. So even if I have managed to somehow capture, I probably will capture all of this before I go to war with France, that doesn't matter. We'll go to France anyways, because in my own sense, I've added on victory objection of the Alsace region to take that as well. And that should be it. In terms of technology, I might add on, because then we have gone through everything, the war, the economics, and the technology. I'm working on the military ones just to manage to unlock all the buildings, so I can get all the troops. And then also trying to focus on replenishment, which is gonna be needed given the amount of troops that we lost against the Saxons. And then for the civic technologies, I've gone for all the ones that increase happiness. Converting to Protestantism will increase the happiness a little bit because it will reduce the religious unrest. But it's like 1 or 2 points, so it's not a major thing, but I'm kind of running out of things that improves it. Almost all industrial stuff, just people are very unhappy about those things, like the power loom instead of the jacquard loom, stuff like that. Right, with that, we'll go ahead and end turn, and hopefully I've made the right decision, and they will fall in my trap. Otherwise, they'll attack here, and I'll be able to come after them. And either way, I'm hoping they'll leave the castle, and we'll meet them in open battle. And for any of that to happen, I need to end turn. So I need to shut up and just go ahead with it. Well, wouldn't you know it? As per usual, I talk too much, and the AI seem to take... It's always like this. I say something, and then, you know, I don't think this should happen, and then the AI go ahead and done it. Right, so the Austrian Navy has actually come out with 3 steamships to go ahead and attack my trade ships. It's the spices, so unfortunately no more spice for us. Hopefully they'll be able to get away. The good thing here is it is the small trade fleet for not the biggest cash income, so not too bad. Will they pursue? Yes, they will. And there was no way for us to get away. There's 12 guns on each of this compared to 80. This is not a fight. This is an outer assault. And at least they didn't capture the ships, they actually sunk them. So that's something. Hopefully, maybe we'll inflict some damage to them. But I'm gonna have to rearrange the trade fleet next turn into probably a single one, and await my own battleships to turn up, and then deal with the Austrian fleet. Well, wouldn't you know it? Okay, so masterstroke, right? So you didn't see it, but oh, you might see there, right there. You can see his bald head turning up there. The bloody frog master. It is a French full stack that has marched in. I knew they were in the forest. Blasted froggies. Oh, you can kind of see him, but you can't see his flag. But you can kind of see it here in the edge. Maybe I'll right. But what has happened is the ambush plan has worked. The Hessians were going south. They were not going north because they were gonna deal with the French. And so I have been able to ambush their force, and I will smite them, and then I will take this region. Now, the problem here is that these guys are fighting the French, so I'm wondering if it's a goal of the French to claim this region, and we end up in war with France earlier than we're supposed to. So it could be that I have to like extend an alliance to the French just to keep them away. Hopefully though, it's just because these guys were allied with Württemberg, and that's why the French are fighting them. But who knows? Right, I'm like really pleased with this though. That plan actually worked. Right, let's go ahead and ambush the our enemies. Wonderful. I've taken my time to construct this ambush. What we're looking at here is Tax Battery, now that they are a guard battery. Didn't realize there was so many guns in the guard battery. It's 6 guns to the battery, which is quite a lot. So we've got one battery over there, the other one over on that hill, and then the howitzers are set right here with view over the enemy. In terms of the infantry brigades, we've got the elite one here with Gibbon's brigade, the 8th Youngban, and the Grenadiers von Lostingen. Then we got the Grenadier brigade here of 5 units. We've got infantry, and then the other 2 infantry are on this side, one there, and then the lights are here. These are just kind of to make sure that the enemy don't leave. And these are the ones that actually will do the attacking. I've got light cavalry, as I think I've got light cavalry here with Dragichen and so on. And they will kind of be covering this sort of area, as I expect. Well, what I would do is probably run back, but that's probably not... Actually, I wouldn't, because I'd be trapped by these 2 infantry brigades. Probably the best way would be to sort of hide in the woods and then trying to fight my way through here, since there's more troops on this side. But obviously it's the AI, so who knows what they're gonna do. Right, so my plan anyways is to... I'm gonna take control of the howitzers to make sure that we fire pretty far into this. So, you know, otherwise they'll aim for this and all the shots will end up like here. So if I aim directly somewhere in here, then hopefully we'll, you know, hit a lot of enemies. And then the batteries will fire in, and as that happens, the elites will move up to here, the grenadiers will move up to there, and this one will move up around here. And so I'm not going to move these guys up, because otherwise there's a risk of us firing through all of this and killing our own men. And also, as they're bottled up like that, they won't have anywhere to run. I kind of want them to back off towards this and then sort of walk into this. That's the plan anyways. Let's see if we can't execute it. So let's go and start. Right off the way, they gained chevrons. I'm gonna order the grenadiers to move forward before they fire. The elites and the infantry's over here. Alright, there goes. They shot in. We killed loads of batteries, and maybe I should have held the position. They do have a lot of cavalry that is now gonna attack us. There's a lot of them coming this way actually. Hold. Hold, and then there's impossible terrain there apparently, which I missed right there. It's a high risk of this brigade kind of getting overrun. I'm gonna put that one out in the corner into square. Let's make sure, since I targeted infantry in the middle there somewhere. Yeah, they did send a lot of troops up here. The cavalry is making desperate charges, but it's in towards the grenadiers. I'm gonna move up the general just in case. And then I'm gonna retarget their infantry. Flank attack towards Gibbon's brigade. Risky, but this is an elite unit, and the enemy cavalry broke. The howitzers are going in. The general is here to support. I'm going to go ahead and give some extra aid there. Let's go ahead and target someone more in the back. Looks like they've actually set up their artillery pieces now. And loads of cavalry being forced away. I want the infantry now to come up. And I want actually this infantry to move up as well. I'm gonna block that. The grenadiers are taking quite the hit actually. I feel like we're too close right now to actually order a retreat. I'm gonna order the lights forward. And I'm gonna order the guys through
Glorious
the woods.
victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
A absolute mess going on in the middle here. And the general to support. Oh, their general just supported their troops. The elite brigade is doing well. As you can see, a lot of the units here are dying, which is job of the light cavalry to deal with. So we've one grenadier leaving. So opening a little bit of a gap here. As this is happening actually, I want the elites to move forward. You know what, rather than targeting a specific unit, I'm going to target the ground right there. And then I want the
We have killed their general,
batteries,
sir. Now they must break.
specifically to aim for their guns. The enemy general was killed in the fighting. I can hide the general right here. Oh, we're getting attacked from the rear. I was able to order in the square just in the final moment there. What a battle. There's still a lot of enemy troops though, which getting cut to pieces. I'm surprised this one hasn't broken yet, but I'm guessing the ground here isn't that great. Ooh, a lot of the grenadiers are not looking good right now. These two in the center. Who's firing on this? Or is their guns? Alright, hussars, I ordered you to go in and try and stop them. And then you guys will move up there. We have a unit leaving there. Nassau Musketeers. The heavy cavalry brigade will move in to prepare to attack. Actually, what we'll do right now...
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, that's the one I just gave... what's it called? I can see they're now breaking, actually. I'll order my troops in. Hold fire. Go after the retreating enemies. The guns fell silent. And the battle was won. Wonderful. Now we need to just make sure they're not able to retreat back to their capital. And as a result of the ambush, I actually lost a surprisingly high amount of troops. I lost 1,000 men out of my 6,000 men army, or actually close to 7,000 men army. I was not expecting that I was gonna lose that many men, and it's actually mostly... Oh, now we can see the French, actually. There they are. And it's mostly actually enemy fire. There's about less than 100 friendly fires out of that, which seems kind of low given it's an ambush battle and I'm attacking from all sides. So that's kind of interesting. The good thing though is their army of 5,600 men is reduced by 500, or I mean 500, that would have been nothing. 5,600 men, and they lost 5,200, leaving 446 men, while I have over 5,000 men left after the battle. It's actually the Lifeguard Grenadier Battalion, which I believe is... that must be Gibbon's Brigade, right? Gibbon's Brigade lost 18 men, killed almost 500 enemies, followed by Grenadier, followed by 8th Light Guard Grenadier, followed by Specialty Grenadier Unit, and here we've got Young Buns Grenadiers, and so on as it goes down. Kind of interesting here that we don't see a lot of cavalry units up top. no cavalry units on top, actually, at all, for like the top 10 at least. And then we have actually howitzers and stuff before we even get to what I believe is Dragishen's hussars. Down here, didn't lose a single guy for the hussars. So it's really an infantry and cannon job here that was able to destroy the enemy formation beforehand. I think perhaps if I'd sent in the cavalry earlier, we could have, you know, it was a little bit touch and go there when the Grenadier Brigade started retreating. We lost 2 units to retreating, to our route, but the other 3 held, which was good. And now I'm hoping that we should, on our end turn, be able to move up and capture this town, because now there's only about 400 of them defending it. We have an alliance broken with Denmark-Norway, which I find a bit strange. Why would they? Do they think they have a chance now to attack us? Fleet destroyed, unfortunately. And then we built a modern university. Okay, so I was wrong. Those 400 men actually retreated and hid here in the woods. The replenishment rate for them is great. The only unit that made it back was the one that was protecting the University of Frankfurt. Here's the French army. Tons of guns. I believe the accuracy of the French gun is really high. And then the troops are pretty darn good as well. Wonderful! They only managed to get 1 Fusilier unit in there to try and protect the town. For safety, I'm gonna I'm gonna auto-resolve, but I'm gonna auto-save just in case it crashes. And then we're gonna have to find... I'm hoping that the French do not declare war on us after this. Sometimes I figure I should actually go in and start the campaign as other nation, just so I know their victory conditions, and if there's regions that they sort of always will go after. But that's not for now. That could be in between episodes. Right, let's go ahead and claim another province for the Greater German Empire. And here's the result of the auto-resolve. We lost 843 men, which is kind of high given that the fact that the area only had basically armed citizenry. Who lost the most? Musketeers. So, I mean, all the units survived. And there's nothing really interesting to say about the statistics. We took this over. I'm contemplating if I should use some as... what's it called? Liberate them to be vassals. But I figure if I do that, and especially on provinces that border future enemies, like the French, then that could work both ways, kind of, for me. And I think it's probably better to occupy the areas rather than have them as vassals. Wonderful. And we got Drill Master and Aggressive Attacker. Wonderful. First things first, tear down the fort. And the university, I think I'll keep. And then we'll upgrade the mines. You call that a mine? It's a gold mine, of course it's a mine. Now, I want to check on the French. What are the French up to? The French are at war with no one right now. We are very friendly with them, because I apparently gave a state gift pretty recently. 77 points plus for that state gift, so that should hopefully... The Danish are indifferent. Dishonoring treaties. This is the thing about dishonoring treaties. That is most likely the minus points for them breaking the treaty. I'll give you a gift, which brings us up to very friendly, so that's good. And I'm gonna request alliance again. And so our business is concluded. You're right. You dumb bastards. Now stay there on your little appendix. So I don't have to deal with you. Right, everyone is friendly. We're still allied with the Russians. That's good. We just took this over. What should I do with Frankfurt? The Frankfurt School should do civil technologies. Abolish slavery. People should be happy about that. Right. I don't think we have many slaves though, but we'll go ahead and abolish it. Will not take part in the slave trade. Right, I do need to boost up the navy. That's going to be a lot of time before the next batch of ships come in. I also note that during the end turn that we do have Russian forces marching into our territory. Who is Russia at war with? They are at war with Württemberg, Bavarians, and the Belgians? Why? Where did this come from? You know you have like rebellions in your home country and Little Tartary, but you decide you're gonna march armies through Europe to fight the Bavarians and the Belgians? Why am I speaking like this? Right. And we'll continue down towards... See if the Austrians gonna beef up this. Otherwise I'll take it. And then we'll move to deal a decisive blow somewhere outside Vienna. And then I might call it quits with the Austrians. But I would like to attack the Bavarians in... Ah! Look at that. This one's done. I'm thinking we build a supply depot. Because that was the plan since last time. I do remember that. Will this unlock any units? No. And actually, the Great Arsenal doesn't allow me to get anything more than the howitzer, which is the same that I can get from this. So I think we should actually rebuild this. Now I wonder if, through technology, the uprising against French, that will allow me to build a lot of different units. But nothing about cannons. So I think we might turn this Grand Arsenal into a Grand Opera House instead. A bombastic one where we use guns in the background. We'll get that Russian guy to come in and orchestrate some music for us. With big, big guns. Now, hopefully, we'll just be able to do like 1 or 2 turns that we're advancing our positions, and maybe I'm kind of thinking we might be able to get a naval battle into this episode as well. So we have got a large trade fleet right here, and I definitely don't want to lose that. Seems like they didn't lose anything. They lost a lot of crew in this one, seemingly. So I'm gonna move this one back as far back as I go. I could trade in tea, but I fear... Oh, they do have the movement range to go after all of it. Right, we will... What I'll do is the ones that actually has a fighting chance, which are these with 58 guns, I'll go ahead and take them, which is 4 of them, and I'll bring them together in a fleet right here. And I don't have the money for an admiral. But I'll hope that that might give us a little bit. And then the fleet here need to go as fast as possible. It's 1 turn away from being able to engage with the Austrian fleet. And hopefully save my trade fleet. We have currently lost already 6,000 from our trade, and you can see our income is now down to 7,000. If it continues this way, I might not have the money to continue the war. However, I could, of course, increase the taxes. But that will only allow me to regain about 4,000, as we already know. And this while I'm also recruiting more troops. And I'm wondering here if I should watch out for the French. We are gaining more and more enemies around us. Perhaps. Actually not. But I kind of fear that we are doing that. That the AI is working its way around to attacking us from all sides. Even though, looking at this map, you couldn't tell, but who knows. Well, let's end a few turns, see if we can get to the naval battle, and then that will be the end of the episode. If it is that I won't be able to get the naval battle, then we'll just end it. But that's what we're going for right now, so let's go ahead and end turn, and see if we can't best the Austrian Navy. So we do get a naval battle. Unfortunately, it's not the main fleet that will fight the Austrians. Instead, it's my best trade ships. So this, it says that I do have somewhat of a chance here. We'll see about that, but yes, let's go ahead and fight our first naval battle. Surprise, surprise, a Prussian-Austrian naval battle.
Glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
The naval battle was over really quickly, and I wasn't expecting it at all. We started off pretty badly by having my two lead ships catch on fire, and I thought it was done for. I ordered one of them to continue to stop repairing and move forward, at what point it surrendered and later exploded, and I was like, ah, shit. Roughly though, or pretty quickly after that, their lead ship decided to surrender, and then after just one volley from one of my ships on their smaller admiral, got him to set on fire and surrender. So then I had three ships, one on which was ringing the bell because it was on fire. But then I had three ships against that one last enemy ship, and it decided to go head first right into our fire, and we were able to lay down fire then from three ships, and it surrendered. Here it says that we both lost one ship each, which is true. One ship exploded on either side. Kind of surprised that I didn't capture their ships, because they did surrender. But at least I lost just one of my ships, and I dealt a stinging defeat to the Austrian Navy. Ah, a gentleman! Wonderful. Hopefully he's competent. Factory master and trenchman. Right, you'll take up position in the college and abolish slavery, if you please. Admiral available, and we have Court of Justice in Saxony, and this Right, so for some reason the Austrian Navy survived that, which I don't really get. But my Navy is now here, so I will go seek and find them. And there they are, so it's one of their ships that survived. Let's go ahead and make sure they are no longer a threat. So it's down to 63 guns and 143 crew. This time though I have 3 ships of equal stature that should do short work of the Austrians. You know, for the first battle it went so quickly, it was over within 5 minutes, and I thought, you know what, I should do the second one and actually show you the battle. Turned out it took a little bit longer to do this battle, as I had to eventually board him to take control of it. He started routing. I mean, the thing that I realized here is, unless you're able to set them on fire, you do very little damage to the enemy hull, as it's mostly explosion sort of happening above, and it's not doing no damage really at all to the enemy ship. So if you're lucky you can set it on fire, but otherwise you can fire forever. As we can see, there's very little hull damage, and if we look at losses and kills during this, it's very low. Like, they were shooting all over the place but missing each other. Now I can get 3,700 for this ship, which is pretty good. However, it takes like 8 turns to recruit one of these ships, so I rather take it on into my fleet. However, I would need to go back and repair it, which would leave my trade fleet vulnerable. So maybe I just send this ship back. But that's great. Our trained yet famous post captain in his day, and cool under fire. Wonderful. So we actually captured an enemy ship, and I will be sending that one back then for repairs. And then we have our fleet ready to defend. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring these up, which are the ships that can actually fight back, and we'll put them up forward here. And then I'll figure out where I'll place these, as I probably not gonna have them on the spices then, and figure out what the best amount of money I can get out of that. But otherwise, for the next one, we do not have a completely clear goal. What I could do is I could possibly send some troops down to scout if we can march on Stuttgarten and take that out. Otherwise, it could be potentially backstabbing the Bavarians, but the Bavarians, they have a lot of troops, and they're not actually that weak after all. So, I'm not sure. We're closing in on the Austrians though. That's good. But I did note that there's an Austrian unit moving through Russian territory and is moving against us. Which means that the they have some kind of deal, the Russians and the Austrians. but I'm not sure entirely what. And now the Austrians are desperate enough that they are actually allied with the Ottomans. Maybe I could drag in the Russians on my side then, if they want to fight the Ottomans. Looks like I'm gonna have to post more smaller armies, or actually what I can do, because this is rather a small group, is I can call out the cavalry that I've stored in Berlin. Can go and chase those guys down before they do any damage. Start raiding behind the lines. So yes, there's not a clear goal for the next video, but I'm sure I'll figure out something by then. And it's finally time to say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.